Well, hi and welcome back to Reflections in Real Talk. I'm Judy. Today we're going to model how to set up proportional withdrawals in Boldin, and you might ask yourself, why is that interesting? Why would I care about that? Who would be interested in that? Just to point out, the Boldin Planner traditional withdrawal order withdraws your accounts in a set order: taxable accounts first, then tax deferred, then Roth and HSA accounts. And each account is drawn down until it's depleted before the planner moves to the next. And that may not be how you would like to do it or how it works for you in real life. But nevertheless, there is a workaround. I'll show it to you. And there are several reasons, again, why individuals might choose this kind of cherry picking strategy from accounts every year. The first is they want to be equitable. Maybe they want to draw from one spouse's IRA and then the other spouse's IRA. They may want to keep their taxable income down in order to qualify for ACA subsidies if they retire early before Medicare. And so you can customize the withdrawal order, and this is the manual workaround. So I'll show you in Boldin how this works out, but let's quickly go through this help article. First step is to designate a retirement paycheck account. So we're just going to pick one account. It's typically a savings or checking account, and then we'll manually set up transfers into that account. So here you can see the traditional withdrawal order, which prioritizes drawing from after-tax accounts first to cover expenses, and then moves on to tax deferred. In this example, we have Ally Retirement Paycheck account, followed by a brokerage account, and then a 401k, and then the spouse's 401k, and then Elaine's 401k and Jerry's 401k. And I've got Thomas and Sarah. They've got equal amounts in both accounts. And then we're going to set up money flows transfers to that retirement paycheck account. And we have this couple retiring both at 65, and my couple is also retiring at 65. And they also have two 401ks and a joint savings account with a brokerage account. Now, again, in using the default order, the planner completely drains their taxable accounts before age 75. And you can see here with the Taxes Insight chart, there are low tax years here. This is called the tax valley, leading up to the tax mountain when those RMDs or required minimum distributions kick in. One of the primary reasons for using this proportional withdrawal strategy is to smooth out that tax burden and to take advantage of these low tax years. All right, so again, they're going to set up their retirement paycheck account in money flows, set up the transfers, and then you can see here those annual transfers from 2026 to 2042. Now, your situation may vary dramatically. You may be different ages, you may have different amounts in each account and what have you, and you can set these up manually to vary year by year, and of course you can adjust them every year as well. Then you're going to want to check your results in Insights Accounts Withdrawals and Insights Taxes Net Taxable Income. And here are a couple tips. Transfers are fixed amount. Revisit them as your plan evolves, especially after changes to income expenses or account balances. And make sure that the transfers are fully funded. You'll see those in coach alerts if they are not fully funded, so you can validate that as well. Let's quickly jump into our plan here on screen. We've got Thomas and Sarah. They've got $7.8 million now. They're retiring next month with a 99% chance of success with that Monte Carlo simulation. And very, very quickly, I'm just going to show you the accounts that they have. We're not going to focus on those ancillary accounts today. We're focusing on just a few accounts. We've got Thomas IRA with $3.5 million and a rate of return at 8.08. We've also got Sarah IRA with $3.5 million and a rate of return at 8.08. I also have that savings account designated as a retirement paycheck. It's only got $1,000 in there right now. That's very inconsequential. And a joint brokerage account here with $150,000. Now, let's go ahead and look at money flows. we're going to look at a couple things first. We're going to make sure that any excess income is going into that joint brokerage account because that has a pretty high rate of return. And this couple has over $9 million that's spilling off in excess income. That may be an opportunity for them to spend a little bit more, but that's not the focus of this video. Let's quickly review the withdrawal order. And I'm clicking on the traditional first just to show you that retirement paycheck we talked about earlier. So what Boldin will do is it will completely deplete the checking account, then the savings, the high yield savings joint brokerage. Then it will utilize Sarah's IRA as the next account to fund any expenses and Thomas's IRA next. So in this case, we want to be a little bit more equitable and perhaps share in how those are funded. Next, we have the Roth and the HSA as we indicated earlier. And then just a reminder, it's going to prioritize the rates of return here, 0%, 2%, 3.75, and 10.25%. And you can see right here next to this withdrawal order, the contribution investment returns. You can see the returns over here year by year and the withdrawals by type. Now, when it says shortfall, don't panic, okay? That just means that is where some expenses are being funded year by year, and the savings, drawdowns, and transfers. You can see where those funds are coming from every year, and you can see here in 2026, Sarah's IRA is funding their expenses. And you can see it's not until 2036 when the RMDs kick in that Thomas's account is being tapped at all. So that's one of those reasons why we may want to set up these proportional withdrawals. Before I jump into that, let's just look at required distributions. You can see that both Thomas's and Sarah's accounts are subject to required minimum distribution starting in the year 2036. And you can see here how much each is going to be utilized. Sarah's been depleting her account up until those RMDs kicked in. So her RMDs are going to be a little bit lower than Thomas's because his have not been utilized up to this point. Next, let's go into the taxes, and we're going to scroll all the way down to that last chart, net taxable income by federal tax bracket. You can see in this final year of working, they still have considerable income coming in, but let's look at 2027, and we can see that they're only in the 24% tax bracket. In 2028, the 22% tax bracket. And as I click these chevrons and move over 1 year at a time, we can see they're still in the 22, and now we're dropping down to the 12% tax bracket. And this is what's called the tax valley. And 2036, when the RMDs kick in, some of their income is falling into that 32% tax bracket. And you can click through that year by year and see that those brackets are going to continue to go up, up, up. So that's one of the reasons that we want to use this strategy. But like I said, there are several other reasons. So what we're going to do is go back into money flows and transfers. And we're going to add a transfer from Sarah's IRA to that retirement paycheck account. And I'm going to add $100,000 a year. We can always play with that from her retirement age annually. And stop age, we're just going to click on longevity. But again, I can play with that and see what the ideal amount is. And then let's also add a transfer from Thomas's IRA to that retirement paycheck, also for $100,000. Starting at his retirement age annually until longevity age, and save. Now, let's go back into that Insights Taxes chart and let's see what happened. So, as you can see, that tax valley is considerably smoothed out. We may want to go back in there and tweak that a little bit, but we can see here some of those lower tax brackets being filled up. And then let's go back into the required distributions, and we can see here it's a little bit more equitable. Sarah's was still being utilized first. Now, one thing that we could do is we could go into money flows and change from that traditional to the customized withdrawal order. Edit that order, We've got the Retirement Paycheck first, and then we've got Sarah IRA and Thomas Roth IRA. Let's move that. Let's move this up. We want to save that Roth account. Let's put that Roth account at the bottom. I'm going to save this. Let's go back into insights and required distributions. And those amounts are exactly the same, 140 and 183. Let's go back into money flows and withdrawal order, customized. And let's put Thomas's first and see what happens. Let's go back into required distributions, and now we can see it's just the opposite. Thomas's has been continually funding retirement expenses, and it's been sequentially depleted faster, so Sarah has more left in her accounts there. And then we've got Thomas's 401k. Now, I was curious about if we excluded those accounts, because I did see that in the help article. So here it says in step 2, add transfers in money flows. Create a transfer from each excluded account to your retirement paycheck account, specifying the annual amount. So it indicated that these 401ks should actually be excluded, but we didn't do that and it worked anyway. So let's see what happens if we exclude it. Let's go back into assets and debts. And let's exclude this account, see what happens to the planner. Now let's go into Sarah's IRA. Let's exclude that and let's see what happened. Now, first of all, let's look at the savings balance. They're both 3.5 and it's excluded, so it's continuing to grow. Let's go into money flows and transfers, withdrawal order, and you can see that those accounts are excluded, but we've got the transfers in there. Now we've got 35 planned transfers from September 2026 through December 2060. And let's see what happens here. Now, when we look at required distributions, these are not going to show up on the required distributions at all because those accounts were excluded. And I also asked Boldin AI, I love this, does it help to exclude those accounts, because it worked both ways. Excluding the IRA accounts while setting up manual transfers can be a powerful move, especially given the large pre-tax balances of $7 million between you and Sarah. Currently, the IRAs are already set up, excluded from withdrawals, and you have manual transfers of $100,000. By excluding these accounts and using manual transfers, you're taking the steering wheel away from the automated system. This helps in two main ways: tax bracket smoothing instead of the planner potentially taking nothing from your IRAs for years and then forcing massive high tax minimum distributions. It says 73, but it's actually 75. Your $200,000 annual transfers fill your current tax brackets. This can lower your total lifetime tax bill. And it's also pointing out a Roth conversion opportunity. Yes, I didn't want to focus on that in this video, but you can change the target of those transfers from the checking account to the Roth IRAs, and then they will become Roth conversions. So obviously you'd want to layer that strategy on top of this and investigate that to see if that benefits you as well. And that would allow that money to go tax-free forever, reducing the tax bomb. And then we do have some unfunded gaps, so be cautious of that. So despite what AI said, I would be very careful about eliminating an IRA account from the withdrawal strategy. One of the main reasons is it's not going to track those RMDs. The other reason is if you have some larger one-time expenses, those may not be funded. So again, if you go into money flows and withdrawal order, I've included those again, you'll see that those are in the lineup for the withdrawal strategy. If I remove these from the withdrawal strategy and excluded them and only allowed manual transfers, the next funds that would be tapped for expenses would be those Roth IRAs. So once again, this is a strategy, a workaround that is detailed here in this help article, but I would be very careful about excluding any accounts and consult with one of the Boldin professionals if you have questions. Hopefully that helps to give you some insights and just some things to think about. So that is the proportional withdrawals. Again, there is a help article. You can search for proportional, and it walks you through it step by step. On the surface, it looks fairly straightforward, but because each individual account balances are going to be different, your spouse and yourself, your ages are going to be different, your retirement ages, your tax brackets, your expenses, they're all variable. This is something that you might need a little help with, and in that case, you might want to work with one of the Boldin professionals or a tax accountant just to verify these amounts. Hopefully you found that helpful. This has been Reflections in Real Talk. I'm Judy. If you haven't already signed up for Boldin and you're interested, please consider using my affiliate link. It helps to support this channel at no additional cost to you. If you scan the barcode on the screen now or in the link below, I may get a small commission, which helps to support this channel so I can continue to make free videos like this. And a short plug for my new budgeting program. If you or somebody you know is struggling to save for retirement or to manage their debt, I do have a budgeting for real life program. So scan that QR code. I'll put that on the screen as well, and a link below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.